presents her speech, Lead in Any Condition, talking about her leadership role. The time of this speech is 8 to 12 minutes, so if we can have green at 8, yellow at 10, and red at 12 minutes, please, Mr. Timekeeper. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Julie Kertesz.
I was 14-year-old and I wrote a theater piece. I wanted to play it for the parents. As I was freckled all over, I didn't give myself the first role, but I was behind the curtain. I was the one who brought it. I was the one who directed it. And I played a very small role directing behind the curtains. Many years later, when I was already almost 84, I again directed behind the curtain. In Lewisham Speakers Club, the one I have been already 10 years, I decided to be secretary. So I can be base camp manager when the pathway will come to our club and teach the others how to approve and how to be base camp manager. I still remember a meeting. They came to my house and we sit around a round table, which I have here. And that was my rock bottom meeting. Because I tried to tell the president that our fares are too high. That is why we don't have enough members. In Lewisham Toastmaster, we ask exactly twice as much as in this meeting in British Storytelling. And we have some people who don't work, some are just arrived in England and so on. And everything I proposed, I was told, no, we know better. Okay. So I wanted to resign, but I am not one to give up very fast. So I decided just to keep quiet until Pathway arrives to our England in Europe. And then they will need me anyway, because no one knew about Pathway than me. So I closed my mouth, didn't propose anything at any meeting. We met in a pub and I just stopped speaking until we had to decide our new president. And then I proposed a president, and that president was indeed voted in later. And then, just a year ago, in March, Pathway arrived. And Pathway arrived, I was Pathway ambassador in my club and tried to speak again about Pathway, and the future president joined. And the future VP, who is one of my proteges, joined. And even the president, who was against everything I proposed, joined Pathway. So now they needed advice from me. And I was there to give it whenever they wanted. I am very happy to tell that a year later I was still secretary, and I helped the new president and the new VP to learn how to be base camp manager. And even the old president, who was against everything I proposed before, through my blog post, he learned how to go to Club Central and put in an award, and was quite happy about it. So now I was almost leading the base camp manager team. But what I did, and I am very happy to say that now I am not really needed anymore, I did teach the president and the VP how to be base camp manager, explaining everything and looking with a lot of pleasure how they finished level 1. And I have to tell you now that Lewisham, between 250 clubs, is now the 7th concerning pathway, and all the committee members are on pathway, and we had only one, the old VP, who had never finished DTM because he didn't want to do a high performance leadership, but was there always and helping always. Finally, last week decided to go also pathway and begin, and with him and all the new Toastmasters who go and give their icebreaker one after other and who are very enthusiastic about pathway, soon we will have 100%, as we have in Witty Storytellers for a long time ago, on pathway. And I want to show you a picture that was last week. Do you see? I hope you can see it. Here are two beautiful icebreakers, new members, and in the middle is presenting them the president who gave me long time ago that bottom rock feeling. And he is also presenting them. Here are our new pathway icebreakers. And I have to tell you, I am really happy I achieved that. It meant also, as I usually said, and I believe you don't have to lead from the top. You can lead from the bottom once you are there. You can also help others to go up. And that is my most important message to you. My biggest pleasure is see them go on and help and tell about pathway to others. And when I heard our new VP telling, indeed, the pathway icebreaker really held my hand a lot better than in the CC, which I just completed. That was my biggest award I could get. Mr. Toastmaster.
First time, it brought to my mind a metaphor, an image of a Central Asian Sikh kebab that is grilled on all sides. And what Graham mentioned in his introduction, that a person has to be evaluated from the peers, from the point of view of the supervisor or boss in a company or in Toastmasters Club, and from the point of view of people who that person leads, who work under his supervision. But what we heard from Julie today was a very well-structured story. It had 3 parts. The introduction was a throwback to childhood, when 14 years old girl with freckles, and that was an amazing poetic detail that gave a full picture of that situation, where she was producing a play and playing in it on the stage a very small little role. That was her first experience of managing, guiding, leading behind the scenes. The second was her experience of a Toastmaster with a Bottom Rock meeting. And the third one was the triumph. The third part of her speech was about triumph, how she achieved success. And probably some people in that second part of the story can attribute that success to themselves, but she's totally content attributing that to herself, knowing her role in that success. So we had a lesson from Julie's story, how to be a leader behind the scenes and feel happy about it. The story related to deep set values. And if some of us were a little bit discouraged whether those values actually work in real life, Julie's story was a proof that that value is there and it's always worth tapping into it. Today, Julie's background was different. It was black, and she put a Toastmaster poster. Her just one hand was used as a, as a conductor in an orchestra to to maybe keep a pulse on our attention and emotion. And if not for some personal details, I would recommend this speech for public view, because it had nothing unnecessary in it. Everything was working towards the conclusion, towards the general impression and the lessons that we managed to draw. Thank you.